Well, you know where I put my money?
Where?
Bitcoin.
What's Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital cryptocurrency that works without a central bank.
Been living under If you've been living under a rock.
And it's so simple to use. Transactions take place through the use of cryptography and are verified by network nodes and recorded in an immutable public distributed ledger called a blockchain. What could be simpler than that?
Not much.
Right. So is it like investing in stocks?
Kind of, but not at all.
Where can I get one of these Bitcoins? Can I buy one at my local bank?
Get out.
Of course not. What a dumb question.
Never invited Martha round for another tea party. Stupid noob. So we have a flash pump, apparently the single highest 1 hour volume in Bitcoin history was earlier today. That seems kind of hard to believe, but apparently so. And I don't mean just on one exchange, I mean aggregate. Here's what that looks like. This green bar here. We are essentially at 300 billion market cap. And if we have a look at what Bitcoin pumped up to, just under 7,800 on CMC, but over 8K on several exchanges. Now, of course, when you see pumps like this, the tinfoil hats come out. I'm not trying to say they're not justified, but let's talk about those theories. Basically, people are saying that exchanges with enough capital to cause pumps like this can win big. They're very much financially incentivized to do so because of people shorting Bitcoin. For example, a Twitter bot known as BitMEX Rect, it auto-posts people getting liquidated by shorts. Here is a noticeable example. Nearly $10 million shorted at Bitcoin 7650. So almost a $10 million short had to be liquidated today because of this pump. So he lost money, maybe not $10 million worth. It was probably on leverage, but probably $100,000 at least. And in fact, if you have a look at the Twitter account and add them up, apparently over $150 million of people getting wrecked today. Now, in case all these short and long calls somewhat confusing, I'm going to leave this linked below, but here's a really great explanation I'm just going to take straight from. You have $10,000, you borrow $30,000 from a broker using your 10K as collateral, you buy 6 Bitcoin with this, $40,000 worth total. You're hoping the price of Bitcoin will go up. Say it goes up to 8,000. You can sell your 6 Bitcoin for 48,000, pay back the 30,000 and keep the profit. However, if Bitcoin goes down, you could be liquidated. So you still owe 30,000 and you have the 6 Bitcoin. So if the price drops to $5,000, your 6 Bitcoin will be sold off automatically, aka liquidated, in order to pay back the $30,000 loan. And you lose your 10K that you put up as collateral. Shorts are pretty much the same thing, but in reverse. So you're hoping that the price of Bitcoin goes down to a certain point so you can buy in. Now, with that out of the way, price manipulation, is it? Could it be totally price manipulation? I can understand why people think it is. A non-news driven pump of this magnitude, the highest 1 hour volume in Bitcoin history, seems somewhat suspicious. But we have no real evidence of those claims. What is entirely possible is the market naturally moved up and many short calls were liquidated simply because it was a bad bet. Maybe manipulation, maybe there were some, but I just can't imagine everything to be one, evil mastermind. Now, here's the interesting thing. If enough short calls get liquidated, which apparently, according to that Twitter bot, there was tons, then the price can start to avalanche. The reason being, if people are getting liquidated, they need to actually buy the asset to pay back, I think, in most cases. Maybe some are just cash settled. I believe some are Bitcoin. But if you're just into technical analysis, this move doesn't come as too much of a surprise, as Bitcoin was consolidating for a long time. And the longer it consolidates for, usually the more violent the breakout is. Could have been up or down, but today it was up. In fact, it took 2 hours to move from 6,500 to 7,000, and then from 7,000 to 8,000 took 45 minutes. Some people would have checked their phones and then an hour later checked them again and just had their minds blown. If I had to hazard a guess as to what happened, it's probably a bit of everything. FOMO, manipulation, shorts getting liquidated. And in other notable news, EOS flips Litecoin and becomes the new number 5. And now I've seen a lot of posts talking about this, saying how ridiculous it is, that this is a bubble. This doesn't even have a working concept. And here it is at number 5, beating Litecoin, which many people hold a lot of opposite of contempt for. I don't know what that is. And so they say there's no reason that EOS should overtake it. But in my mind, those people that are saying that still don't quite understand the speculative nature of this market. Here, let me explain. Let's say you're wanting to go to the moon really hard, and let's say that this is the moon. In order to get there, you can buy into a project that's been around for 6 years and is still fleshing out. Or you could buy into a project that doesn't even have a mainnet release yet. No working product at all. Which one do you feel is eventually going to take you to the moon harder? A lot of people are going to say the project that's not even out yet. Then, if you truly grasp that, you'll understand why people love to speculate on speculative things, like EOS. So it doesn't come as a surprise to me. But of course, the pump is not entirely non-news driven. The big news for EOS is the upcoming airdrop, which marks the 300th day of the EOS ICO, which is still ongoing, 300 days of it. All Ethereum wallets holding at least 100 EOS tokens will receive an equivalent number of EOS DAC tokens, which will ultimately be transferred to the EOS mainnet once it launches later this year. As it says here, not financial advice, I'm just going to read this. Cryptocurrencies often see price surges ahead of an airdrop, only to fall into decline once the blockchain snapshot locks airdrop balances. Take what you will from that. Get out.